Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Yannick, I'm the French guy from Switzerland, and for this first ever video I'm going to do a quick review of the Raspberry Pi 3A+, the latest model from the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Let's go! So first things first, this episode is not sponsored by the Raspberry Pi Foundation. I bought this Raspberry Pi 3A+ with my own money. So as you can see here, this is it. This is the Raspberry Pi 3A+. It has the same hardware than its big brother, big sister, Raspberry Pi 3B+. It is a BCM2837BO SoC system on chip. That's the processor here. It's a quad-core 64-bit ARM V8 running at 1.4 GHz, same as this one. It has the same built-in wireless, so for the Wi-Fi it's 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz 802.11 BYNAC, whatever it's called those days. It has Bluetooth 4.2 and Bluetooth Low Energy. It uses the same micro SD port right here to store the OS and the data. It has a full HDMI port here, a 3.5 millimeters, I think, jack for audio output. It has a micro USB for power, and it has the same 40-pin GPIO as its big brother here. The difference is that there's only one full-size USB port compared to the 4 ports that you've got here, and it doesn't have a Ethernet port, which is this one here. So it also has half the memory than the Raspberry Pi 3B+, so that's 500 megabytes on this one, 1 gigabyte on this one. It's 6.7 by 5.6 centimeters. That is, if I'm not mistaken, 2.6 by 2.2 inches. And it is only 11.5 millimeter high, which is a little bit lower than the Raspberry Pi 3B+. However, as it has been notified to me by Alexi in the Destination Linux Telegram group, by the way, great podcast, check out destinationlinux.org. If you're using a ribbon, which I have somewhere here, but I already have something plugged in. There, I'm going to remove that. If you use a ribbon on this Raspberry Pi 3A+, then it takes a lot of space, so it's really high, and you're losing the lower form factor. So what could be done, what Alexi suggested, and I think it's a very good idea, is to desolder this header and solder something like that, like this one, which is a square-angled 40-pin header. So you can see that once the 40-pin header is on the board, then you gain a lot of space. I can show you that if I plug that back in. There I have a perf board where you can see that in more. Here you get the space it uses with this right angle bracket header, and I will try to hold that. See the difference? So if I'm going to use a Raspberry Pi 3A+ with a ribbon, actually we can do that with all Raspberry Pi, even this one. And as you can see, there's no, I don't know if you see that correctly on the video, there is no components around here, so you can easily put the desoldering thing in the name escapes me right now, but you can put that here, desolder this row, and then do the same thing here, take that off, and take the right angled header and put it back in, soldering, and there you go. However, if you're using a hat, then this is the Google AIY voice hat. You might be better off keeping the original 40-pin header. Well, there's space was supposed to go here, but you can see that the Raspberry Pi is right the same size as the hat that goes there. So you're gaining a lot of space compared to the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, which is always nice. You still have access, of course, to the USB port, HDMI, micro USB for the power and everything. So it's quite a nice device. Since it doesn't have the 4 USB port and the Ethernet port, I think there's nothing you can do with the A Plus that you can't do with the B Plus, but some applications, for example, if you use that as a server, MQTT server, for example, or if you want to host things that you might want to plug a keyboard, a mouse, and have high-speed network, then you're better off using the B Plus. The A Plus, for me, is going to be a replacement for this tiny thing here, which is a Raspberry Pi Zero. So, as you can see on the Raspberry Pi Zero, it only has a mini HDMI, mini USB, but it has Wi-Fi and Bluetooth too. It's a lot less powerful than this one. So I think I'm going to use that to replace those small ones in mobile projects. And by mobile, I mean things that I can transport and put somewhere far from an Ethernet connection, where I don't need an Ethernet connection. And this one is already, quite powerful for what I do. I usually have displays like 16 by 16 LED matrix, but sometimes I need more power. I need to, for example, display more frames per second, or I don't know. I don't really have a project in mind right now, but definitely this 3A Plus for me is a replacement for this Zero to get more power, but it's used in the same kind of projects. While this one will be to have a server. I actually have one that is a MQTT server, one that is a Pi-hole server, which is a local DNS with a blacklist, so I don't see any ads on my network. So yes, this is a nice little device that I will use for portable projects. What else? Well, that's pretty much it for this first video of the channel. I will probably do a comparison between the Zero and the A Plus on one project that I have. I have this one actually. This Raspberry Pi Zero is running a 1000 picture animation, and it displays that on a 16 by 16 RGB LED matrix. But even running at full speed, I don't have enough FPS, I think, to have a smooth animation. So I probably will do another video with a comparison between this and this as the software performance, if that makes any sense. So there it is, the Raspberry Pi family: Raspberry Pi Zero, Raspberry Pi 3A Plus, Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. So it's the end of this video. As I said in the introduction, it's my first ever video. So you will please excuse the bad lighting and the poor camera experience. I'm going to try and be better for next ones. I'm going to build or invest in some equipment, lighting and maybe camera. If you want to join me, yannick@frenchguy.ch, that's my email address, or leave comments in this video. As I said, I will probably do a video about the performance of the Raspberry Pi 3 A+, and I have ideas for some more video in the future. So please subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourselves. Ciao, ciao!